Welcome to Rise and Unwind, a show where we focus on lifestyle, wellness, and feel-good stories to start your day. My name is Kayla, and here's what we have coming up next.
If you're making pizza at home and you're making dough and you're cooking at 500 degrees, try to use a browning agent, a sugar, a malt, a honey. That'll help your dough caramelize and make it, better, crispier, in your home oven.
All that and more on Rise and Unwind.
Have you ever watched a true crime show and wondered, where's the line between justice and entertainment? There's a new documentary called Predators that takes a hard look at Dateline's To Catch a Predator and the world that grew around it. Emmy and Peabody Award-winning director David Osit is pulling back the curtain on the show's legacy and what it says about us as viewers. David, I want to thank you for being here, my friend. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Okay, for people who only remember To Catch a Predator as a big TV moment, how do you describe what Predators is really about?
My film is really unpacking the legacy of this show, which was this segment on Dateline NBC in the 2000s that would set up a hidden camera in a sting house where men who were having online chats of a sexual nature with decoys who were pretending to be minors would then show up to a house, meet the decoys, then meet a journalist named Chris Hansen. He'd then interview them. Being filmed by hidden cameras, tell them that they were being filmed on a TV show, that they were free to go, but then they'd be arrested by law enforcement. This happened hundreds of times. The show was a sensation. And we really weren't very critical about what was happening when this was airing because we'd never seen anything like it before. This existed on the internet back when everyone was fluent in the internet, but before social media. So we really were just exploring this new phenomenon as far as we were concerned. At the time of just, wow, the internet's a scary place. And we found a way to enjoy this news program. Now, I think that what happened then is that we created a template for a modern true crime, which is that you have journalism and law enforcement working together to create some type of entertainment. And that's really one of the legacies of To Catch a Predator.
So when you started digging into the story, what surprised you most about how the show actually worked behind the scenes?
I think when I started to really understand one particular element of the show, it sort of stood out to me, which is that these men were already able to be charged with a crime before they ever showed up to the sting house. The crime is online solicitation of a minor, but then they show up at the house and they could be arrested right then and there, but instead they're interviewed by a journalist who's not telling them who he is necessarily, and then they're filmed and then they're told they're free to go and then they're arrested. So all that part, that middle part is kind of theater and it's all for us to watch at home. So when I started to think about that, I started to realize, well, there is a huge component of this that's really just entertainment. And it's not the first time in the world where you reach people and give people something to watch, and then that moves the needle on a national conversation. But how does that then shift into maybe potentially that kind of entertainment becoming used more flippantly, more randomly, and disregarding potentially the human cost of what that entertainment creates? Those are some of the questions I liked to get into when I made the film.
And the film really leans into some ethical gray areas. You got the stings, the cameras, the way audience reacted. What are some of the biggest questions that you wanted viewers to wrestle with when they watch this?
To be completely honest with you, one thing I'm really eager for viewers to wrestle with in terms of questions is actually just how they feel watching the show. Or my show, rather. I'm a documentary filmmaker. I'm also asking people to consider certain things about what do I do for a living? What do all of us do for a living when we're telling people's stories? There's some things in my film that are hard to watch. There's some things in my film that I think will make you laugh. There's a big journey in this story because I'm asking you to consider kind of what your own line is of where you'll draw the line between whether something is too much about entertainment or whether something's good intentions justify it being entertaining. And we don't have answers to that. Everyone has their own answer to that question. We all kind of have our own line in the sand about what we think. It's actually more like a line in asphalt because it really is hard to change how we feel about whether something is right or wrong. And we don't like it when people try to change it for us, I've noticed in society. So my film's kind of about asking those questions and asking you, how do you feel when you watch some of this material? How does it make you feel?
And you talked to some former decoys, the host, and people who were directly affected by the show. Was there a particular interview or moment that changed the way you saw this whole phenomenon?
Not one particular interview or moment, although I spent time talking to Chris Henson in the film and many of the decoys who were involved in the story. All of it was very interesting and compelling to me, and in part made me think again about, well, I'm, for example, asking some people in the film to recollect some pretty hard moments. There was an incident of a man in Texas who took his own life when the camera crews and the police came to his house to arrest him for the sting. For To Catch a Predator, and I interviewed some people who were involved with that story, and I asked them to bring up, some hard memories. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, like I hope I'm not traumatizing these people. But again, those are the kind of questions that I think you only start asking when you're thinking about what are the ethics of making stories out of people's lives. Documentaries have been doing that for years. True crime's been doing that for years. But this film's really not just about To Catch a Predator, but it's about the ethics of how we tell stories.
And as you were saying, that true crime is bigger than ever right now. After making Predators, how do you hope people think differently about the shows and content that they are choosing to watch and their role as an audience?
Not to sound like a broken record, but I don't want to tell people specifically what I want them to think, because that's our problem, I think, in our society, is that we've got a lot of people telling you all the time what you should think about something. And I just want you to go on a journey with this movie. I designed it so that it challenges the way you feel at all times about what you're watching and looking at. And there's going to be times when you're uncomfortable, and there's going to be times when the person sitting next to you, who you thought was your BFF, might be making you uncomfortable because they disagree with you or you disagree with them. But I think that is the hard thing about being a human being, is that sometimes we disagree with each other. It doesn't mean we are wrong. It means we're just complicated. And this is a show about trying to take complication away. There's good guys and bad guys. And I do think the world is more complicated than that. It's not about defending child predators. It's not about making you feel bad for them. It's about asking you to consider, how do we treat people?
David, I want to thank you for joining me today. Predators is now streaming on Paramount Plus, so if you remember To Catch a Predator or just want a smarter take on true crime, this is one to check out. David Osit, thank you so much once again for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Do you ever watch a true crime story and think, there's no way that this could be real? And then it is. Then the idea of that is the idea behind the brand new season of A Curious Case of, a series that digs into bizarre, stranger than fiction cases filled with twists, deception, and shocking outcomes. So joining us today is Beth Karas, veteran legal analyst and former prosecutor who helped break down what really happened and why these stories still matter. Welcome to the show, Beth. How are you, my friend?
I'm fine. Thanks for having me. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Excited about too.
Happy New Year to you. And before the break, I was saying, I love the show. It's great. It's interesting. It's because, a lot of these true crime drama stories always is, this person murdered this baby, and it's dark, it's demented, and it kind of goes into these, deep tales of, blood, guts, and people that are just doing horrible, horrible things. But this show, okay, and not to just keep gushing about it, it goes into something a little different. It does have the true crime. It has some weird tales. It has some stories. First season, loved it to death. But you investigate things that are a little different and not just blood, guts, and watch these people kill things that were innocent all from the start.
You know what? You hit the nail on the head. That why this series resonates with a lot of men who are kind of get turned off to a lot of blood and guts and murder, right? It's like a largely female audience. It skews female, I should say. But I'm hearing from husbands and boyfriends saying, there's a show that I can watch that's crime or crime adjacent, as we say, that I can watch with my girlfriend or my wife and enjoy it. So we're not looking at murders, but we're looking at weird, bizarre behavior, as you said. It's deceitful, it's fraudulent, could be cults, it's something's wrong here. What is it? A crime? What is the crime? Sometimes it's clear there's a crime, but it's like somebody gets away with a deception or a fraud for a long time. It's like I marvel at what people do and get away with.
Yeah, I think I'd be a little nervous if I'm sitting down and relax and my wife is getting super excited about a murder drama of someone killing their husband. Yeah, I can understand that situation. But okay, you really choose some wild and interesting tales and stories. How do you find these?
So, there's a team of us, and I'm part of that team who look for the stories. I mean, stories come to me, but we also we scan the internet. We might listen to some podcasts. Maybe people we know. There's a story I've been pitching of somebody I know who had. I don't want to give away the punchline, but it's not in this series. But he was missing for a long time, and people thought he was abducted by aliens. Turns out that wasn't the case. Anyway, they're weird, twisted stories, and we just find them, in life, on the internet, newspapers, friends, people we know. We listen to reports.
All right, and this season, what are some of the highlights? Anything big that we should be looking out for? What's something we can look forward to in the season? What's the elevator pitch this time?
So, well, the finale is a good one, right? And it's called The Corpse That Came to Dinner. Okay, I just leave it at that. It's a weird story. 91-year-old woman found with 2 corpses at home, right? Unbombed corpses. So that was weird. It's like, it's got to be a crime here somewhere, but it was her husband and her twin sister. Like, she loved them. She cared for them. Is it really a crime? So that's the finale. So you got to wait 8 weeks for that one. But the school principal who hypnotized his students, and he wasn't licensed to do it. And there 3 of them tragically die. There's no murders, but they die. The woman who is faking her illnesses, she's faking paralysis from the neck down. What, to get attention? I'm not sure. She fakes being a cancer survivor. She wants people to like her, maybe. I don't know. She fakes pregnancies. These are all over several years. It's very strange behavior that made me angry, having grown up with 2 special needs brothers who died as young adults. That really made me angry that somebody would fake an illness that they don't have just to get people's sympathy. I guess. I'm not really sure. So that's one of the stories. But that was like, what is the crime here? It's not a crime to break someone's heart. It's not a crime to lie unless you're getting a benefit, and that's what did her in. She got a benefit. She got something of value. She got a bicycle. She got a trip. She got some expenses paid to go to a camp for the special needs people. So, I mean, the first episode, right, the green smoothie, guy who practiced medicine without a license, was also like, he started life pretty good, making a lot of money with his alkaline diet. But then he took it a step too far. He got too greedy. He started promising people he could cure their cancer. That's what landed him in prison.
As a journalist and someone that has dealt with legal analysts and former prosecutor, what did you learn while working on these projects? And what is something that is a takeaway that you going into this? Okay, these are interesting stories, but what is something that like made you realize, or what did you learn that you want people at home to kind of get while watching this, or just learn while making the project yourself?
I want people to be aware that there are a lot of frauds being perpetrated, not just on the robocalls and the emails you get where people are trying to get into your bank account and get your personal information, but people are out there lying about themselves. I mean, the green smoothie promising, the guy with the smoothies promising he can cure your cancer, the woman faking her paralysis, and she really did fake the counselors. I mean, they thought she was paralyzed. I mean, just it's a cautionary tale to just always be on alert. I don't want people to be distrustful of everyone, but just, you just gotta check things. And if your radar, your gut is telling you something's not right, that's probably the case.
Beth, you are a hero. Thank you for bringing this once again to us. We love this stuff. So,
thank you.
You got to check out new episodes of Curious Case Up that are airing weekly on Investigation Discovery, with episodes also available streaming on Max. If you're fascinated by true stories that prove reality can be a little stranger than fiction, then this is absolutely one worth watching. Beth, I want to thank you once again for being with us, my friend.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Do you ever wonder how much planning and pressure and storytelling goes into what happens inside a WWE ring? Season 2 of WWE Unreal pulls back the curtains even more, taking fans behind the scenes on the road to SummerSlam. Joining us today is Lyra Valkyria, one of the superstars featured this season, giving fans a closer look at what it really takes to bring those moments alive. Welcome to the show, Lyra. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Season 2 is diving deeper into the writer's room and the build towards SummerSlam. When you watched it back, what surprised you most about seeing that process on screen?
I can't watch it back because it was a very kind of hard moment for me that got captured on Unreal. So it's very strange that the whole world is seeing it. But this is what people want to see. So there you go.
Oh, okay. Fans usually see the finished performance. What does WWE Unreal reveal about the preparation and collaboration that people may not realize happens before a match?
I think it definitely reveals the pressure and the chaos that goes on behind the scenes, because it's live TV, so everything obviously looks great. And we just pop up and look our best on Raw and SmackDown. But I think it's showing a very kind of gritty, real side of the people on the show and what we go through every single week. So I guess that's really cool that people get to see that and just understand the chaos behind it all.
And this season features so many big personalities and storylines. As a superstar, what's it like balancing your own journey while everything else around you is constantly evolving?
Oh, it's like hard. That's one of the struggles, is like trying to keep your whole life together while performing at your best. So it's definitely hard, and I think Unreal really showcases that what it is we go through. So yeah, it can be tough, but it's also like the most rewarding thing in the world, and it's so addictive, and the adrenaline, like you can't even describe it. I don't know if any other job or like sport or anything, I don't know if anything is comparable to what we do. So it's cool that like people get to understand that a little bit more watching the show.
And the show, it captures a lot of high pressure moments. How do you personally stay grounded when the stakes are that high pretty much week after week?
I think as like my way of staying grounded is as long as I know that I'm putting the work in behind the scenes and I'm doing everything I possibly can. That's when I know, like, okay, I'm gonna do my best here. And if I don't, then like what can I do? That's just where I'm at. Like I have to, if I'm doing the work behind the scenes, then I'm gonna be proud of what I'm doing.
And for longtime WWE fans and for people who may be new to this world, what do you think they'll appreciate most about season 2 of WWE Unreal?
I think people will appreciate the fact that this is the first time ever that this show is pulling back the curtain so much. It's something that's been protected for years. And there's still people that, like, I'm one of them, that I'm not sure how much we like that, but there's a big demand for it. So I think people who have wanted that, like lifelong fans who have wanted to see what it's like behind the scenes, I think that's what, like, this is their chance to actually get to see that.
All right, I want to thank you for joining me today. WWE Unreal Season 2 is streaming now on Netflix, taking fans behind the scenes all the way to SummerSlam. Lyra, thanks for joining me today.
No, thank you for having me.
Ever wonder how Moonshiners keep a century-old tradition alive when the stakes keep getting higher and higher? A new season of Moonshiners is already underway, and it's pushing the limits like never before, from rising liquor prices to bigger risks and tougher crackdowns. So joining us today are Mark Ramsey and Digger Maines, longtime distillers and stars of Moonshiners on Discovery Channel. It's great to see you both. How are you two today?
Good to see you, boss.
It's great to be seen. It's better to be seen than viewed.
Yeah.
That's a good line. I love that. All right, so I guess we're just hanging out today. We can't really be talking about anything that you guys do, so it's how are things? No.
Things are good.
We're not afraid to talk about what we've done. Sometimes it might save somebody from making the same mistake.
Oh, gotcha. All right, so this season opens with more pressure than ever. There's higher costs, tighter enforcement, bigger risks. What did that change for you guys day to day?
Cautious on all levels, whether it be the materials you're buying or looking in that rearview mirror to see if the police is on your back end.
The dynamics in our line of work never changes. It just changes the fact how severe they are. Higher prices is absolutely bad for us, but the tariffs may be a good thing for us for liquor being sent out of the country. It puts more demand on non-tax liquor. So, it's a double-edged sword, but we're going to live with it and deal with it the way we always have.
And moonshining has deep roots going back hundreds and maybe even thousands of years. When you look at what you're doing now, what still feels the same and what feels completely different?
The amount of money we're making feels different, and the pressure feels a whole lot worse.
The thing about it is this upcoming season, Digger and I have kindly, we're getting back to our roots, back to our basics a little more, slowing down a little bit, trying to draw less attention to ourselves. And, it was good. Digger and I hadn't done anything just one-on-one together in a long time. And I think it'll turn out real nice this season.
It will. I mean, no matter what the dynamics, if you don't approach what you're doing for a living as a business, then it's not going to be a business long. We look at the future. We see what projections on sugar are going to be the next year. We tend to watch that. See where you can get the biggest value, and you can pass that value on to your customers and still make your profit margin handsome.
And there's a real sense this season of deciding how far is too far. Were there moments that you honestly questioned whether it was worth continuing?
Oh, absolutely.
Just about every day, right?
About every day, yeah. It every day brings its own set of challenges, and I think that's one reason that Digger and I are both attracted to this business so much, and the fact that we just love the heritage of it. Our forefathers done it. When the immigrants, the Scotch Irish and the Black Dutch came to this country, not only did they bring their couches and their tables and their furniture, they brought their liquor stills, and maybe we owe all of this to them.
And viewers see the danger and the drama, but they also see the craftsmanship. What do you wish people would better understand about the skill behind what you do?
Well, it should be their way of doing life, and whatever their vocation is, whether you're digging taters or making liquor, do the best you possibly can at it. And if anybody around you needs a little help, be the first one to extend that hand. That's what keeps this craft alive.
We're blessed in the place where we live and the area we grew up in, and people grew up here helping each other, and we like to continue that. And that's the way it's going to stay as far as I'm concerned. But it is a business. We do have to make a living. And but all in all, it's a good life. It's been a wonderful ride.
And you guys are the experts. For those that are amateurs that are or inspired by what you do, what are some of the do's or don'ts or warning signs or say, hell no, don't do this type of things that you could say to somebody that might be interested in jumping in and maybe trying something like this themselves? Not to try to influence anyway.
I don't know where you'd start with all the don'ts. There's a lot of those. I mean, it's like any other hobby. That's all it's going to be anymore, because the days of huge liquor production, they've about dwindled out on the untaxed side. It's just a way to share camaraderie anymore. The beautiful thing about this show we're doing, we've been blessed to be involved in this part of the Appalachian heritage. And I appreciate the fact that folks want to look into it and see what we've lived through all our lives.
The advice I give anybody, if you want to make you a little bit of liquor, get busy, do it. If it's something you enjoy, keep at it, because you're going to make a lot of terrible liquor. Digger and I have made a ton of terrible, terrible liquor. And, it comes with practice. And every now and then, you'll still make a terrible run of liquor. But I recommend it. Try it. If you like it, keep it up. If you don't, move on.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
Mark Digger, I want to thank you too for joining me today. You can always catch new episodes of Moonshiners now airing on Discovery Channel, and follow the season as it unfolds with even higher stakes and deeper tradition. Hey, I want to thank you too for joining me today.
Thank you, sir. Have a blessed day.
Pizza is already a favorite, but what if you can make it taste like it came straight from an Italian pizzeria? With National Pizza Day coming up, we're getting expert tips that anyone can use at home. Joining us today is award-winning chef and pizza expert Tony Gemignani. Tony, welcome. I'd make a joke about pizza, but it might be a little cheesy.
It's okay. That's funny. That's funny.
So you're making a few pizzas for us today. What makes these stand out?
Well, the three pizza I have in front of me, are all aboard Princess Cruise. And, 3 years ago, we got together and they said, hey, how do we elevate our pizza program? I said, well, let's look at it. And we talked about importing Italian ingredients, and that was important, making dough fresh on each ship, which could be challenging when you have a fleet of 17. I'm like, okay, I want my pizza to look like this, this, and this in front of me. And I want it to be trained right and consistent. So how do we bring award-winning pizza on the ship? So we got together with the chefs. They flew out to San Francisco. Show me what you got. Okay, so sopressata picante to my right, arugula shaved Parmigiano Reggiano. Let's not buy hot honey. Let's make hot honey. We got together and we started saying, okay, it should be Caputo flour. Should be chow tomatoes, all imported from Italy. Yes, yes, yes. How do we elevate it, elevate it, elevate it? You want an award winner? Sure. Okay, Calitalia won the gold medal on the Food Network. Prosciutto di Parma, that's imported from Italy. Shaved Parmigiano Reggiano, a balsamic glaze that's imported from Italy. That's Ponti. Gorgonzola, Asiago, mozzarella, fig preserve. So we said, okay, they want that one. That happens to be one of the most popular pizzas on or at Alfredo's Pizzeria. We need a veggie. You know, when you look at a menu and you say, okay, do I need an all meat? Do I need this? I need that. Let's do a veggie. Let's elevate a veggie. Let's make our pesto. Let's make an agave pesto on board. Let's make it every day. Let's not buy it already made. Let's add some Castelvetrano olives that we import. Let's make a garlic oil. Let's add a squeeze of lemon. You know, we're going to serve that with a lemon, and we're going to squeeze that over the top to make it pop with onions and mushrooms and mozzarella. Still on that bed of flour, that Caputo. And I think that, you know, we came to elevate pizza, and that's what we did. We got a certification, which was awesome. The Ospitalia Italiana certification, which basically Italy said, yeah, you're using real made in Italy ingredients. And they gave us a seal of approval on the Star and the Sun Princess.
And for someone cooking pizza at home, what's the easiest change that makes the biggest difference?
Well, cooking pizza at home, a few things. Okay, try using semolina or cornmeal. You can dust your dough in semolina or cornmeal, not just flour. It'll help it stretch easier. It'll help it get off the peel easier into your oven. Ingredients that go on after the bake. Look at the pizzas I have in front of me. These pizzas are ingredients that mostly went on after the bake. It'll be stronger. It'll be crispier. It'll be a less wet of a pizza when you cook it. Sometimes, you know, you think of tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes can be tossed in olive oil, salt, pepper, and put on after the bake. It's a fruit, and people think, oh, it has to go on before. I have to put everything on before, but it's really what goes on after is what beautifies the pizza. And we eat with our eyes. So you're like, okay, this is something when, you know, you want to look at and you want to make it very appetizing. So that's a kind of a couple tips for you. If you're making pizza at home and you're making dough and you're cooking at 500 degrees, try to use a browning agent, a sugar, a malt, a honey. That'll help your dough caramelize and make it, you know, better, crispier, you know, in your home oven.
And with National Pizza Day right around the corner, I know besides going on a very delicious sounding cruise, what are some other family-friendly ways to celebrate?
Go to your local store, grab some ingredients, make some dough, toss some dough in the air, cook some pizzas at home, go support your local independent operator. I mean, those are the kind of things that, look, we have the big game on Sunday. It's one of the busiest days in the industry, but actually Monday is going to be crazy too, because it's National Pizza Day. So back-to-back days, support your independent operator, and just have fun with it.
And where can viewers go to learn more?
Go to princess.com. You'll see all of our cruises from Europe, all the ways to Alaska, and all through the Caribbean. It's great just not to see what I'm doing on my menu, but what all these chefs are doing on all their menus, the mixology that they have on the cruise liners. It's not like what it was 30 years ago when you went, hey, the food's going to be good, but it'll be great. I mean, look at it now. What Princess is doing is just so way ahead of what everyone's doing.
Tony, you are a hero. I want to thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
That's it this week for Rise and Unwind. Thanks for spending part of your day with us. For more episodes and updates, be sure to follow us on social media. That's at Rise Unwind. If you'd like to be on our show, head to our website at riseunwindtv.com and fill out the form. And lastly, we are on YouTube at Rise Unwind. If you maybe want to click that little bell to stay updated and check back next week. Until then, take care of yourself, and we'll see you next time on Rise and Unwind.